guys, what's going on? It's Roth Cornett with Screen Rant, sitting here with
Eric Eisenberg from Cinema Blend.
And we were at the Falling Skies panel over at WonderCon today. We were given this. It is a prequel comic of sorts, and it's going to continue on in a web series, comic series, that's going to give some background about the fall of Earth via the alien invasion.
For those that don't know, the show takes place 6 months after the aliens invaded Earth and basically destroyed society. And the comic is going to serve, they're going to release it, I believe, every 2 weeks until it's a full graphic novel that explains every moment from the start of the alien invasion up until the first moment in the pilot.
Kaboom!
Kaboom, for example.
So we did see some footage from the show. We saw about 4 clips. The first clip that we saw was really like an extended version of the beginning of the trailer.
Right.
And then it was a breakdown of what happened to Earth, told via children's drawings. It was kind of like art therapy by campfire.
It was kind of depressing.
It actually was. I enjoyed that bit of footage.
Yes,
probably
definitely.
the most. I found it the most cinematic, and I found it kind of the most emotionally.
Absolutely. Like there were like stories of these children talking about how their parents would go out saying that they were going to get help or get food or something and then never come back.
Because they were dead.
Because they were dead, and they never come back because they were dead. And like there was one story about like this kid whose parents said they were going out, and then he found his mom's massacred body in the street. And, yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. No, so it definitely had a really dark tone, and it seemed like it was going somewhere good in terms of the storytelling itself. Then we got into the later clips, and okay, so what we saw, and describe what you thought of it, was kind of this post-apocalyptic world where regular men and women, Noah Wyle, of course, stars in the show. He had been a teacher. He's now a quasi-military officer, and he's leading this group of rebels in this dark and dreary alley, fighting the alien invaders.
Right. Well, I mean, just from my personal impression of it, it almost kind of seemed, just in the sense that the aliens, in the way they've destroyed society, and the way that they're still an ever-present force that these guys are still hiding from, essentially they're trying to rebuild society while they're still there. I kind of got this whole sense that it's kind of like a Walking Dead with aliens, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, it doesn't come across nearly as fresh as I think it should.
I didn't really see it as a Walking Dead with aliens. What it looked like to me was actually more of, it sort of had the feel of the original Terminator when they would show little bits and pieces of the future post-apocalyptic world and when they were fighting the Terminators. It had kind of that feel to me. You know, it's hard to say what the full show is going to be like with what we were shown. There's certainly, we had one of the main actors there who plays Noah Wile's son at the panel, and there was obviously a love story in there, a teenage love story. Who knows how that really is going to work out. The aliens themselves are very alien, and that was apparently one of the things that Steven Spielberg really wanted for the show when he originally had the idea of an alien invasion series, is that they would be very alien. They would be non-humanoid. They look a little arachnid.
There are two different. It's important to note that there are actually 2 different types of aliens. There are skitters, and then there are mechs. The mechs are walking around in kind of these mechanical suits, as per their name, and the skitters are like, they have 8 legs and kind of like a xenomorph type head that kind of just. But yeah, there's absolutely no humanity in these things at all.
There really isn't, and this is the interesting thing. We saw the skitters in the alley scene, and then we saw the mechs in a scene where they're basically kidnapping the children, and they become or teenagers, but they said they're very interested between 12 and 18. They become sort of these automatons.
They have like these weird things attached to the back of their necks when they're kind of walking around like zombies.
I thought that the skitters worked better than the mechs. The look of the skitters worked better than the mechs. I thought probably part of that is that we saw the mechs during the daytime, so the CG is a little less forgiving during daytime shots. Absolutely. So that could have been part of it. But also, they did note, look out for the skitters. They're going to end up being very different. You're going to think they're one thing in the beginning, and then they're going to end up being something very, very different than that. My sense from that is, here's my extrapolation, that the skitters and mechs have both come to the planet. One is nefarious, one is beneficent of a degree, and even though they look very alien, it's going to be these skitters that are a little bit more beneficent, ultimately.
Really?
That's my guess. I could be completely wrong, and I'm saying this having seen 3 minutes of footage.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm 100% ready to throw out anything there, but I think that'd be an interesting turn for the story.
I mean, all in, I would say this. It's really difficult to say from what we've seen. There are elements of the show that look interesting. There's elements of the show that, like you said, look a little bit typical TV series.
Right.
The pilot episode was written by the writer of Private Ryan, but after that, it's become its own thing.
Sure.
I'm going to tune in and check it out
Sure.
and see where it goes. I do think there's potential, but I say that with caution.
Yeah, I think that provided the show makes the right moves and has an interesting has solid character arcs, I plan on watching the pilot and seeing where it goes. I mean, we really could use some really quality sci-fi on television right now.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
This has the potential to be just that.
You know, if you are a sci-fi fan, I'm going to go ahead and take this moment to pitch that you should be watching Fringe. Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Have a good one.